Welcome out to the patio today. We're doing some things that are very different for you today. We're doing two videos in the same setting, so y'all may see some things that look similar or even see some things that cooking that came from another video. So what we're going to do today is a type of meat that a lot of people shy away from because I don't think they can get past the name. This is oxtail. Now, this didn't necessarily come off an ox. This is the tail of a cow. So you can see how the tailbone runs through the middle of the cow, and we've got meat on each side. Typically, these have to be cooked really slow and for a long period of time. They've got a lot of cartilage and a lot of fat, and they can be a little tough. So we need to make sure they go a little bit. And we're going to do them for a long time. Now, because of what we're going to be adding to this, we can't put it in a Dutch oven because it's going to be really acidic and a lot of liquid. I don't like doing that in a Dutch oven if I don't have to. So we have a pan, a restaurant pan. It's technically called a braising pan. All right, this bottom on this pan right here, you may have to step up here to take a look. The bottom on this pan is really heavy, and it is about a ½ inch thick piece of metal on the bottom. So we're going to get great heat distribution throughout this pan. All right, and to this pan, we're going to add us a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. We want to get a little sear on this first. All right, now we're cooking in unconventional methods today. So we've got a fire in the fireplace rather than on a campground or in a stove or in Sarah or however you want to put it. And our fire is burning left to right. Now what that means is I'm letting the fire naturally burn to the right because it gives me good coals on this side right here. And yes, I'm in the fireplace, so I don't have my conventional shovel. We're going to set this up. We're going to put this pan up here. Now we have to be careful, folks. A little bit of this is hanging off the hearth. We're going to put us a 4-inch trivet. And we don't care that we get a little heat from the fireplace on this, folks. This has to simmer a long time. And we're going to take a little bit of coals. Here we go. We're going to put them right there in the middle. And because I don't have the shovel, we are getting a little bit of not good coals. There we go. We're going to start off with that. We're going to set our brazier on top of there. Let it start getting hot. While we're doing that, we're going to salt and pepper this oxtail for you, just a little bit. Not putting any lime juice on these like I typically do. They're going to cook for a long, long time, and I guarantee you, folks, they're not going to have a problem being tender. And you can usually always find these at the grocery store. They're not hard to find. It's an inexpensive cut of meat, but it reminds me very similar to a fancier named dish of ossobuco. I believe that's how you pronounce that, folks. So we're getting just a little warm in our pan. So we're going to take this. Now, folks, you know me, I don't like my meat to be actually on the bottom of the pan all the time, but initially we're going to put the meat in the bottom and get a little sear on it. And then we're going to rest it on some onions as it cooks. I probably could have done that a faster way, folks, but however it works out, it works out. We're going to give that a little bit of a sear. We're going to come back shortly and show you what else we're going to add. All right, folks, we got a little sear on our oxtail, and so we're going to set it up on some onions. Now, I typically slice an onion, and this is a Vidalia onion or a yellow onion. I typically slice these and I set my meat on there. It's a thing for me. I don't like my meat necessarily to be on the bottom of the pan. So we're going to go in here and add these. And we're going to make sure our meat gets setting up on top of there. And we thank all of y'all for the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. It really means a lot to us. And we're so thankful for all of that. We had a little bit of leftover onion, so we're going to toss it off in there. Now to this, we want to add a stick of butter, which is a half a cup of butter. We're going to add 2 cups of a red wine, a good hearty red wine, and about 2 cups of water. If I don't spill it. Now you can do this in a metal pan like this. With cast iron, that wouldn't have been very good, folks, if our cast was that hot. We are going to add a can of mushrooms, which is a 4-ounce can, and we're going to add that with the liquid because we want that mushroom flavor. We're going to give that a little spur, a little turn. And we may have to add some water to that as it cooks, folks. We're going to add just about a teaspoon of garlic. And we're going to close that up, put some heat to it, and let it simmer along. We're only going to put bottom heat on this because it's not a Dutch oven, folks. So most of this is going to cook from the bottom. We'll have to rake them out to the edge as it cooks, the same way we'll do the other stuff. So folks, this stuff's going to take a little bit. We'll get this stuff cooked, let you watch a couple other things. We'll come back and show you what we got. Hey folks, glad y'all come back to see us. Now folks, we're going to pull this oxtail off, and I know a lot of people don't like oxtail. This oxtail's been cooking out here for about 4 hours. And it should be fairly tender. And it's got that wine broth that we put in there. We're going to plate a little bit of this up for you here. Find one of these. We'll get us a few of the onions and other things that we have in there. Along with some broth. We thickened this broth up just a tad. And again, folks, you can see it steaming. But we have this out here. And we did the oxtail. This oxtail is fairly tender. I didn't bring a fork, but you can see how tender that is. It's wanting to fall off the bone. And this broth should have the good wine flavor that we added to it. Yeah, it's very, very rich. And folks, I can't say enough. I've cooked oxtail a fair amount, and a lot of people can't do it because they just can't get past it. But it's a very good meat, and it's very inexpensive. It works good for soups, stews, and other things like that. But just like that, we didn't do it, but had you put some rice or mashed potatoes down, set this up on top of it, pour that au jus sauce over the top, you'd have been set. You wouldn't have needed anything else. So folks, as we end this day, and we end every day that's out there with the same thing we tell you, folks, y'all need to enjoy your food.